want to have this image on the virtual world for other people to see, because I want to portray to them that I really got it like that, even though my real world, external world, is in shambles. But at least the virtual looks good, right? That's what's cool. At least the virtual is intact while my real world is in shambles. See, that's funny. That's funny to me, because the virtual doesn't matter. It never did. The virtual is just a distraction. It's to keep you off your game. It's to keep you worried about everybody and everything else but who? Yourself. You know, not a lot of people understand the problem with that. And I'll tell you the problem with that, worrying about what the virtual's got going on, is that you've got nothing, no value in the real world. That's what matters. Your real world, the day-to-day life. When you put this phone down, right? What do you have of value? What do you have to offer yourself? What do you have to offer other people? Nothing. Why? Because you haven't worked on reality. You haven't worked on the stability of your real life, because you've been distracted by the likes and the clicks and the entertainment that comes with social media. YouTube, what is good with y'all boys? It's Boogie, and welcome back to another video. Social media. Let's talk about it. Social media has changed the entire world as we know it around us. It has opened up so many new doors and opportunities that were never here before, right? So much things you could do on social media, so many people you could meet on social media. Social media made the world smaller. You could be able to contact and connect with people all over the world, having opportunities all over the world, having access all over the world. But social media is doing a lot more bad than good, if you were to ask me. And I'm going to break it down to you. And I'm sure you understand that social media is a lot worse off than it is good. But you've never really taken the time to sit back and think why it's like this, and why it continues to get worse and worse and worse. Or maybe you have sat back and thought about it, but you still don't do anything about it for yourself, right? Social media has got people caught up on numbers, likes, attention. We've got women who think the amount of likes that they get, the amount of swipes that they get, is what really matters. See, let me tell you one thing about social media, right? Social media is virtual. It's a virtual reality, right? So that means you've got virtual reality, and then you've got real life. And a lot of people like to try to merge the two together. They try to merge virtual reality with real life. And it doesn't work like that. The only way you could merge virtual reality with real life is if you getting bread off of virtual reality, right? So if you getting bread off of virtual reality, then maybe to an extent you could combine the two. But even if you are getting bread off of social reality, you could stem and have problems from that also, right? And I'm gonna get into that a little bit in a little bit. But first, I want to go ahead and explain how social media is harming us for those who are not making any bread on social media, right? See, what we're doing is we're thinking the importance of what we got going on our social, on our virtual social media life is outweighing the importance of our actual real life. We've got people worried about getting the taps and likes up more than they actually getting their real life together. Like, real deal, bruh. Like, these people are suffering mentally. They're suffering spiritually. They're suffering sometimes physically. Yet, this is all they care about. This is all that's in front of them. They're always looking down at the virtual world, and they're missing everything around them in the real world, right? How many problems come from social media. A lot of problems. A lot of people develop stress and anxiety because they're looking at everybody else, what everybody else has got going on with their life. Ooh, okay. I see he's got this type of Lambo on Instagram. I see he's got these type of cars on Instagram. Oh, dang, he's my age too? Dang. See, subconsciously, you're going to compare yourself to him because he's your age. And then you start to scroll, and you're subconsciously becoming more and more jealous, more and more envious of that life. Wishing and wondering why you're not like him. Y'all the same age, right? So that's a problem right there. That's a problem within itself, right? You become insecure with yourself because you see somebody who's the same age as you, who's got more than you, and so you feel like you're doing something wrong with your life because you guys are not in the same position. You see what I'm saying? You try to compare your day 20 to his day 2000. But see, on social media, you don't know about any of that stuff. His day 20,000, you don't know that he's been growing his business for multiple years. That's why he's able to get this Hellcat or this track car or this AMG at 20, at 21. So he had started early. He had started his day one long before you started your day one. But you don't know that. You only see the highlight reel, what he posts, what he or she posts. That's all that you see. You don't know or understand that the work it took behind that to get to that position. Or maybe he didn't take any work. Maybe he come from a rich family. He just don't tell you about it. Maybe she comes from a rich family and they just don't tell you about it. And they just post, their cars and the lifestyle that they're living because they come from a wealthy family. And then you sitting back, sitting up, judging yourself off of someone else's lifestyle because you're worried about what the virtual world has got going on. You're worried about what everybody else has got going on, right? You're not able to connect with real people in real life, right? You're not able to network with real people in real life because you're so focused and worried about the virtual. See, it's different if you got your real life in order and you want to translate your real life into the virtual world because you've already got stability in your real life. You've already got stability in the real world. And so now you're okay and comfortable with translating a little bit of your real life to the virtual world to be able to expand and network across the world. See, that's different. But that's not what everybody's doing. We've got people whose real world is in shambles, who have instability in the real world. But yet none of that matters because they're worried about the likes and clicks on social media. Who's being my story? Who's looking at me? Trying to put on a facade in the show. Now they're starting to spend all this money that they don't really have. But they know, hey, if I could buy this and put this on my Instagram, then I can get a couple likes. Right? Not making no money off of this. But I want to have this image on the virtual world for other people to see because I want to portray to them that I really got it like that, even though my real world, external world is in shambles. But at least the virtual looks good, right? That's what's cool. At least the virtual is intact while my real world is in shambles. See, that's funny. That's funny to me because the virtual doesn't matter. It never did. The virtual is just a distraction. It's to keep you off your game. It's to keep you worried about everybody and everything else but who? Yourself. Not a lot of people understand the problem with that. And I'll tell you the problem with that, worrying about what the virtual's got going on, is that you've got nothing, no value in the real world. That's what matters. Your real world, the day-to-day life. When you put this phone down, right? What do you have of value? What do you have to offer yourself? What do you have to offer other people? Nothing. Why? because you haven't worked on reality. You haven't worked on the stability of your real life, because you've been distracted by the likes and the clicks and the entertainment that comes with social media. That's what you're distracted by, and you've gotten so comfortable and used to it that you can't really get out of it, right? You don't want to get out of it, to be quite frank, because you've spent so much time, you built up so much time on the virtual reality that it's kind of hard to go back to the real world, because you got so much invested on this. But little do you know, all this time that you're spending on this, if it's not making you no money, if it's not providing some source of income to you, it's really just a distraction. It's all a big waste of time. But these developing companies of these apps and these phones, they would never tell you that, because they want you distracted. Keep the rich rich and the poor poor. They want to drain you of your creativity. They want to drain you of the beauty of your creativity and what you can provide to this world and to yourself. The value that matters behind that. You've got women on social media thinking they're of importance because they're getting a certain type of likes and clicks, certain type of swipes. So I had 20 dudes swiping. I don't even know what is it, swipe right? Is it swipe right or left I don't even know, bro, but I think it's swipe right if they like you, right? I think it's swipe right. I don't know. See, I don't even be on it to know, but it's either one of the two. It's either swipe right or swipe left. Oh, I've got a certain amount of swipes, so that means that I'm somebody. Oh, I got a certain amount of likes. Oh, I got a certain amount of dudes in my DMs. So what do? I act a certain type of way, right? And then I try to carry that same exact mentality and mindset of shitting on niggas in my DMs, having that ego boost and the validation in my DMs and on these social media and dating apps, that I try to translate to that real world, and I get treated completely differently. Everything that mattered on my virtual reality, it seems like it doesn't matter in my real life. It seems like my status, my value has gone down. Right? See, when the world is opened up to a lot more, you get exactly that, a lot more. Whether positive or negative, right? And if you're not smart enough to understand that social media, this is a hindrance, and if you're not using this as a sense of improvement to help you build on what you've already got in the real world, the stability that you already got in the real world, what are you doing? It's nothing more than a distraction. It's making you egotistical. It's making you worried about things that don't matter, right? All these social media followers, if you got hundreds of thousands of followers, unless they are local, you're not probably never going to see them. Then what? Right? Then what? What is your life consist of? What type of value are you willing, or what type of value do you have to offer somebody else? Right? And if the answer is nothing, do you see the problem with it? I really don't offer anybody anything in the real world. What type of services can I offer that people would take me up on and say, hey, we need you because you would make a good fit for the team. Hey, without you, we wouldn't be able to have all of this. See, you provide stability. And if you don't have your external world stable, then how do you expect to have anything in life? Right? If you're one of those motherfuckers who worried about the likes, worried about the comments, worried about what everybody else thinks on you, and you come to me with some shit like, oh, Ron, you know what I'm saying, this was happening on social media and this is all I'm worried about. we bring some drama from social media and try to translate that to the real world. Don't come nowhere near me with none of that, right? Because you've lost. I know you've lost sight of it all. You have lost sight of it all. And if it's got you, if social media and mobile phones have got you in that deep, I don't want you dragging me down along with you. I don't want you getting me worried about stuff that doesn't matter. Right? Everything that you see on social media, everything that you see on these are just highlights of what people want you to see. Right? That's why they put these fake bodies all over the internet, because they want you in a state of lust. They want you in a state of seeing these fake bodies and not being okay and comfortable in your own skin, thinking that you've got to do this and that to your body. Get that BBL, get that surgery, get this and that, plastic this, plastic that, silicone this, silicone that. And you're seeing this so much that it's subconsciously programming you to be insecure and uncomfortable with your own body, feeling that you've got to go and do this in order to be somebody, instead of being okay and accepting who you are as a person, right? Or you see these people flexing a certain type of money, a certain type of status, a certain type of lifestyle, even though they could be completely broke, but you would never know that because they would never tell you that. You would never know these people aren't here renting out houses, renting out cars. You would never know that. You would just see it and you believe it, right? A lot of people don't think, oh, he could probably just rented that car, or oh, he rented that apartment out, he rented that house out, oh, he doing this and that. He got these type of chains on, right? And even so, even the person who really is living like that and has got the money and lifestyle for that, you know what? These people have already, like I said, developed their stability in the real world. And so now they could take some of that stability and combine it with the virtual world. See, that stuff like that works. But 9 times out of 10, that's not what's going on with people. The average amount of people that are on the internet, that's not what's going on. They don't have that in real life stability. Right? That's what it is. Fellas, we've got to understand that our mobile phone is a distraction. It is. It's a very big distraction. And it's preventing you from being where you need to be because your hand is always down, instead of up and alert and aware of IRL, the in real life activities, the things that you could do. You see the problem? You see the problem that comes from social media? You see the problem that comes from our mobile phones? And if you're not getting this type of perspective about social media, you heard it from me first, right? Or even if you are getting this type of perspective from social media, about social media, but you're just sitting around still not really doing anything about it, or maybe you do something about it for just a little bit and then you go back to revert to your own ways, right? Then what good does that do? It doesn't do any lick of good. It doesn't do your lick of good. You see what I'm saying? Try putting this down. If your screen time is 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, what are you doing? And if that is that much and you're not making any money, what are you doing with your life? Why is it 5, 6, 7, 8 hours out of your day spent on TikTok, Instagram, social media websites, Tinder, swiping, worried about things that don't matter? How many Tinder swipes do you got to go through for you to get that one match? You see what I'm saying? How much time do you waste cumulatively over time by doing that every single day? Or maybe not. Maybe it's not every single day. 3 times out the week. When instead you could have taken those time you spent swiping or liking or whatever it is y'all do on social media, instead of spending that time doing that, crafting a skill, having a bookcase full of books, learning and developing and acquiring new information that could be used towards your advantage, right? To really make you that top 5%, that top 1%. That work that you put in, that grind that you did, that discipline that you had, that consistency that you had. And now you are stable physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. If that's something you're working on, right? But if you're not doing that, if you're not working on those things, if you're worried about what everybody else got going on, you're subconsciously making yourself beta. You're subconsciously making yourself weak. Because you don't have what it takes to hold yourself accountable and put distractions to the side and separate, being able to differentiate and separate the difference between the two. And that's something that everybody can actively work to improve. And if you got it down, good, fine, that's great. Keep going. If you already got this down, keep going. Right? Don't stop. But if you don't got this down, it's something that you need to work on. It's something that you need to understand. Right? That you are being distracted. You are being led astray. And you won't be able to get out of your position. For the simple fact that these were designed to distract, to confuse people, right? You got it nowadays. I mean, you on these sites, even the people who be some of these app developers, even they saying like, hey, y'all being on our app too much. They'll put up a little reminder, hey, you've been on this app too much, you need to get off. Screen time, oh, you've been on this too much, you need to get off. But they can't force you off. It's up to you to set that down, right? The power is in your hands. What are you going to do with it, right? That's all up to you. Focus on the stability in the real life, in the real world, and I promise you, you will be okay and enjoy your life a lot more. You'll be more content with your life a lot more once you see the importance of developing real life stability. Getting to that chicken bag, getting 4 corners to your own, having that first car to drive, right, to get you to work, to get you from point A to point B. See, those things, that's the things that matter, not the amount of likes you get in, right? You building yourself up to get to that 6-figure check, right? Or a 6 figures salary, right? That's what matters. Not how many entertaining videos you've seen on YouTube, how many entertaining videos you've seen on TikTok, right? Because why? Because that stuff doesn't add any value to your life. Yeah, sure it's funny, right? Sure it's entertaining, right? But how much of that do you need, right? If you're a grown man sitting around doing all that, especially if you're a grown man sitting around doing all that, worrying about social media and swiping and doing all that, you've lost sight of life. You've lost sight of your purpose. You've lost sight of why you're here and things that you need to be doing as a man. You've lost your masculinity. Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying masculinity, but come on now, man, right? You're worried about the wrong stuff. Point blank, period. So are you going to change? Or are you going to stay the same? It's in your hands. It's always been in your hands. And you can continue to do what you do. Or you could turn over a new leaf and start something new and be consistent and disciplined with whatever new, what's the word I'm looking for? Agenda or objective it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether that's knocking down your screen time, right, to focus more on the real world. Whatever the case might be, you're staying disciplined and consistent enough to stick with it because you know that is what is going to build your value as a man or woman over time. You see what I'm saying? I hope this video helped you guys, give you a little bit of insight on, social media and what type of harm it potentially or has caused to you or people around you, right? I know you guys know, and I know you guys see it. Now it's up for you to decide what's next. Anyways, that's the video for today. Appreciate each and every single one of y'all for tuning in, listen to what I had to say. I will be having more bangers like this one on the channel, so make sure y'all stay tuned. Don't forget to like, and I'm gone.